Oh, that's incredible. 57 people are waiting.
Right now, I have to stop saying
57.
Well, I don't know if we should have Luds just start cursing, which we're not supposed to do. Have Sam see if he can finish off the birthday cake without taking a breath. Where the
Y'all having birthday cake?
Warriors captain sat. But the regular season is over, and we have to talk about Game 82. We have to, and we're going to, next. You're on DLLS.
Get it ready, boys.
This is the DLLS Dallas Stars Post Game show, live here from the podcast studios for game number 82, alongside the rather perturbed Craig Ludwig and the possibly constipated Sam Nestler. I'm Owen Newkirk. I'd like to say hello to our producer, John Andersen, as well. Hi, John. Boy, that was a blip on the radar, wasn't it? If you didn't look quickly, you would not have noticed it. Make sure to hit that like button. That's the big thumbs up underneath the video, not the little heart in the chat, although we don't mind if you do that, but you got to put the thumbs up. That really helps us out. Like, subscribe.
I did it.
And speaking of subscribing, you should sign up to be a diehard because we have a huge sale going on right now for the NFL draft, which is coming up a week from tomorrow. For a limited time only, you can get, if you're a new diehard customer, which means you don't currently have a subscription, you can sign up. $36, a big discount. You can get a free t-shirt and all the things that being a diehard comes with, including discounts on merchandise, events, all the writing that Sam does in our website. Sean does stuff. And if it's not just Stars, we also cover the Mavs, the Cowboys, and of course, the Rangers. And
Yeah.
I believe we have some Dallas Wings coverage coming up soon.
Oh.
Paige Buckets. Not Buckets, Buckers, but yeah, first overall pick
time.
in the
Big time
WNBA
pick.
draft. But that's not what we're here for tonight. We're here to talk about a phenomenal Dallas Stars performance. Who are we kidding? Luds? It looked good for 16 seconds tonight, did it not?
Tyler Seguin looked good tonight. It came out, looks like he didn't have any issues, played in the last 3-4 minutes of the game. So it wasn't like he had a smile on his face at times. Happy to be back. That's all I got to say.
Did you ever have any long injuries in your career? Or where you had to miss a bunch of games?
No.
So you're pretty fortunate to, I mean, you maybe had a game or two here or there?
Yeah.
But never like months?
Again, I was the kind of guy that you probably don't want to miss games because you never know who's going to take your spot.
Never get back in?
Yeah, you wanted to be I'm in, I'm staying in kind of thing. But yeah, nothing, fortunately nothing like Tyler has had to go through a couple times.
Yeah.
Which is maybe, again, hindsight looking back at maybe because he went through something obviously very similar. He kind of had a marker and he knew what to look for, what to feel like. How we felt the last time around. So
with first chat, Bailey, or not our first chat, lots of things going on in the chat. Bailey goes, Lud's shin guards were too big for him to get injured.
yeah, until they turn sideways on you. That happened a couple times. But yeah, no, I was pretty fortunate. But again, it was a different time, different era, and speaking of that, I mean, I think that we've got to mention, we hope that Robo's okay.
Yeah.
Robo
early
left the
second
game
period. Robo gets it was sort of a reversal hip check from Michael McCarron. Little late.
He's a big boy.
Also, it looked like Robo was kind of admiring his pass a little bit and didn't really see him coming and just got caught that right leg. And I understand if it's just precautionary, but I think we're all hoping for that he hobbled a little bit. And, okay, you're okay, but there's no point in you going back in there because what's the other end of that? Suffered an injury and won't be available for game one, and now you start to
This
really
team-
Yeah,
worry.
and it's so
not
hard to
need
tell
that.
because you're in this situation.
Sam, they
you're
want the
not-
hat back.
You're not bringing them back in anyways. Regardless, you're not going to bring them back, and
Forward
even
or
if it's a
backward?
bump. So
Tilted to the side, just a slightly askew. So, Sam,
Tell me.
what are your initial reactions and takeaways? I know we just did a 2.5 hour, 3 hour watch along. I have no idea where we
Ride
are right
along.
now. But 7-game winless run to end the regular season is not exactly announcing your playoff presence with authority.
No, and I have tried. I've stayed positive. I've let Pete and the team. They say we're just getting through it and all those things. And I am fully. I've said it multiple times. If they turn the switch or flip the switch and they look great in this playoff series and they make a run, I give all the credit in the world. I just have a really hard time believing that you can go from playing really, really. I mean, I said to you guys pregame show or watch along, whatever it was, just don't look awful tonight. You don't have to win the game, but just feel better about your game. If anything, they feel worse. And I think that to go from that to just completely flipping the switch and playing a very high-rested, high-paced, very skilled Colorado Avalanche team on Saturday in the Stanley Cup playoffs with that intensity, I just have a hard time believing they're going to come out and be ready to go.
but we hope they feel worse.
They should, yeah.
Yeah, we hope they do. But they should have felt worse 3 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks ago, then a week ago. And it's like, we'll just get on to the next game. We just want to get the playoffs started and stuff like that. So, yeah, you hope they do. And again, I said this during the ride-along thing. I'm hoping that the one guy that came back tonight, 91, that's been sitting on the sidelines having to watch a lot of this, has something to say after the game. And you don't know, because it's hard sometimes for the guys that are in it. Not like them clowns over there, but
They're playing for their lives tonight.
Yeah, they got playoff games going on.
oh, okay. Well, hopefully that happens with Dallas.
Yeah,
hopefully they're
somebody.
playing. Yeah, so because they haven't been playing for their lives in the last couple of weeks, so
They're about to be.
Yeah, they are about to be. But I think this is the appropriate time for Tyler now that he's back. Because again, when you're out and you don't want to step into the room and you're kind of detached a little bit, and I think now, and Tyler's been around for practices and things like that. Tyler's a guy that went through the whole process in his career when he was young, won a Stanley Cup, understands what you go through and all that kind of stuff. So, obviously the message wasn't coming unless, but again, there's something we don't hear, we don't know. But in pressers and things like that, it didn't seem like there was any, oh my God, the sky is falling kind of thing. It was just, we're.
Hey, John, a question for you. I know we started the show and we've talked about this before, but I'll ask again, and you can say no. I just got from Heike the audio of Pete. It's about 1:55. If I send it to you, is that something we can play?
Yes.
Okay, I'll forward that.
I have an
along.
announcement to make.
Okay.
Game 1, Dallas, Colorado, 8:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Central on Saturday, April 19th.
Okay, that's not as late as I thought it was.
7:30 Dallas time. Game 1 is
Breaking
set.
news.
Is set, and the other one that day will be St. Louis, Winnipeg. I was wrong; it's not the Eastern Series. So 2 Western Series games to kick off the playoffs on Saturday. Oh, and Siri
Does it only
is talking
have
to me.
the one game?
Yeah, that's just to say who it's starting.
Which they could have told us that because they've known that for a couple of days now. So
Yep.
anyway, good.
So we'll get into our Avalanche versus Stars chat tomorrow. We got a big show tomorrow and Friday. We're going to preview it for both of those shows. I just go back into that game, and is there anything besides Tyler Seguin looking pretty good to lean on, or is it just, nope, we got it over with? Like, is there anything about that game? Casey DeSmith looked okay in the third period. Here's the
I
thing.
mean, are you looking for anything positive?
No, I'm just, I mean,
Okay.
honestly,
I don't know.
look
Tyler
at
came back.
Jake Oettinger, not his fault tonight.
No,
and I'm not
no,
afraid
no,
to say
no.
that. They're being called a homer. The coverage was just brutal.
But coverage has been brutal.
Yeah.
Right? You're very right.
Stop. It's been more of the same. So maybe they've got a plan. Maybe they're trying to throw teams off, because if the scouting staff, the coaching staff for the Avs have been watching the last few games, and tonight they watched that game, and they, you know what, and I would think for Colorado, I would say let's kind of temper this a little bit. That's not a team that's that bad. So let's not be fooled. Let's not go now. If you're the coaching staff, maybe you're worried that your guys go into a little more overconfident than they need to.
Yeah.
So maybe it's all by design. Maybe they got us all fooled. But I hope that things are cleaned up from their own blue line towards the goaltender. That's all I hope for.
Yeah.
What would you do for? We're going to break down all the goals here in our next segment. What would you do for the next couple of days? I saw some people chatting tonight saying this team needs to be bag skated.
Yeah,
Razor would be like using the riding crop. That's not something they do these days.
Doesn't work now,
right?
Not at this time of the year. I mean, you should have tried to send that kind of a message,
weeks ago.
But again, with the schedule the way it is, it's even hard to do that anymore. So many off days and so many games played in short periods of time. It's hard to.
Yeah.
All you can really do now is you bring them in and you try to show them on the videos and you show them those kind of things and you try to go through things and walk through things. But last thing you want to do, and how many times you've heard all year long, we're trying to find spots to give our guys some rest.
And I was just about to say, Luds, correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of just answered that. You don't fix what they're trying to do in a practice. That's video, that's mental, that's all that stuff. So this team, I'm going to guess this team has the day off tomorrow because just it seems like a good idea, especially because what I just said, they go out there, they could practice for an hour and a half. It's not like their defensive coverage is going to get 10 times better. I would imagine they take the day off tomorrow and they practice on Friday and get ready to go. There's no morning skate, I don't believe, on Saturday because it's a late game, so there will be.
It'll be a morning skate on Saturday.
Yeah,
it
so
might be optional.
Yeah, but I didn't think there was going to be. But I think that's just you can't bag skate and you can't get that much better in a practice. So this team needs to lock down now. Maybe what they needed is to just be watching film of Colorado, and that gives them the motivation.
Yeah, when you say a day off, that doesn't mean you stay away from the rink tomorrow.
No,
I think
maybe not a skate.
You have to, and again, now here's the touchy part, is how much is it 60-40, showing them what you're looking at from Colorado and breaking those guys down, special teams, and all that, or is it more about your game? Because, I would obviously say I need them to look more at your own game, what you're doing, but they've been doing it for a couple of years now. They've been doing it for months, so I don't know what that's going to change. And so, but I don't think it hurts because I saw it tonight in body language from guys, and I think it was on the first goal. I saw where Mason Marchment threw a stick up in the air, and to me, that's a sign of I let my guy go.
Yeah.
And I saw other guys kind of drop their head. They let their guy go. But again, this is game 82, and it's been happening, for games prior to that. So I think it's got to be more video, if anything, if they come in tomorrow. I think it's, and again, they're probably not getting home till, 1 o'clock this morning. So who knows what they'll do. But those kind of things can be, be here at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Once you guys sleep in,
meeting, video,
let's get down here. Let's show you a few things, give our guys time to put some things together. And then we'll get a good skate in on, what is it? I don't even know what today is. Get a good skate in on Friday. We got a morning skate on Saturday, and, here we go.
You want to hear from Pete?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right,
especially
John,
from what I'm
hearing.
hearing.
Here's Pete DeBoer, courtesy of Mike Heika post-game audio.
I love the
That's
beginning.
it?
I love the beginning of his audios. Sometimes it's just in his pocket.
This is a minute 70 and 70 or 60% of it.
How did you see that one? Obviously, you wanted this to be a kind of ramp up into the playoffs and didn't seem to work
it
out.
obviously wasn't. So, I don't know what to say. All I can say is, we're going to be judged on the playoffs. I think the idea of resting people down the stretch, was to try and avoid injuries. Unfortunately, we didn't do that either, with the Robertson injury. So, tough night.
Can you give us any update on Robertson or wait till a couple days?
No, we'll have to wait till we get back and see what exactly we're dealing with.
Are you concerned about where things stand right now heading into the playoffs?
Yeah, of course. Particularly with the injuries, but we've got to figure it out. Saturday's the first time in probably 3 weeks where we're playing, basically with our season back on the line again, so that desperation level has to be there. Our execution has to be there, so we've got to make sure we're ready for that.
What did you see from Tyler tonight?
I thought it was good. I thought he was good. Haven't played a game since December. look good. The key is going to be how he responds tomorrow, how sore he is, and things like that.
Have you ever been through anything like this as far as trying to ramp up like this?
I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Nothing that's felt like this. No.
Thank you.
There's Pete DeBoer. We're going to give you our reaction to it next here on the DLLS Stars Post Game show.
All right, hold on. There's too much crap on
I hope this isn't me.
In just a second here on DLS.
I don't know. It's you.
Well, it's timeline. Got to be mine. The cells in our bodies are the building blocks of life. Timeline, when you speak of timeline, Stars have about 70 hours to get their game together. Timeline is a supplement that works with those cells to give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and mobility as you start to age. The patented ingredient is MitoPure, a postbiotic nutrient that clears out dysfunctional mitochondria. That's your cell's battery packs. With regular use, you'll see the difference in the form of improved energy levels and faster recovery. MitoPure is the only supplement clinically proven to rejuvenate health at the cellular level and also delivers a double-digit increase in muscle strength and endurance without a change in exercise. And I'm out of mine. I emptied the bottle this morning. Right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/DLLS today to get started.
All right, let's talk about Sleeper. It's the best fantasy league platform out there, and you should sign up today if you haven't already by putting your puck or your ball knowledge to the test by picking whether your favorite or least favorite players will have more or less than their projected stats each week. Tonight, our guy Sam with his pregame picks had Matt Duchene more than 0.5 assists. Check.
Ding.
Jonathan Marchessault more than 0.5 goals. Check. That's 2 for 2. And for the win, Philip Forsberg more than 3.5 shots on goal. Sam, do you know how many shots he had?
I think 0.
0. So he did not win his picks on that one. With Sleeper, the more that you combine, the more you can win picks-wise, all the way up to 100 times your money. Sleeper keeps you in the loop with instant alerts for breaking news and major injuries. Stay ahead of the game and keep track of league updates in real time so you're always informed and ready to outsmart your friends. If you think you have what it takes, new users can download the Sleeper app and use the code DLLS Stars to get $55 in free entries. When you place a $5 contest, you can apply it to any contest. It does not have to be your first. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Okay, you guys heard Pete DeBoer right before the break. It sure sounds negative, the Jason Robertson injury news. Now, he didn't say much, and he said, we'll wait back, but Luds, the first sentence, and Sam, you are typing it out, so you read it back to us real quick, that first line about Jason Robertson.
Yep. So he said the idea of resting people down the stretch was to try to avoid injuries, and unfortunately we didn't do that either with the Jason Robertson injury. So it was a tough night. And then he went on to say they're going to have to wait till they get back to see what they're dealing with and what it looks like. But I will say, as Owen said, he did not sound super optimistic.
At this time of the year, no matter what team it is, I don't buy a lot.
Yeah,
and we
the lying starts now, right?
Well, yeah,
The
it does. You know
gamesmanship.
how they are, and I think that if you can right now sell anything to the Avalanche, that man, they're going to be missing this guy. Wouldn't you try to sell it the way everything else is going?
Yeah.
So I don't. And again, I'm not saying there's anything with Robo or wrong with Robo. There is. I'm just saying right now, any interviews that you hear coming out of any coaches, they don't really give you a lot, and they're not gonna lie, but they're just not gonna tell you the truth.
So, instant reaction issue. If Jason Robertson is unavailable to start the series against the Avalanche, how big of a loss would that be for the Stars?
Well, obviously,
He's their leading goal scorer.
yeah, that puts a dent in things. But how's Robo been as a playoff player? When you look at the numbers, it's been kind of. I know in the beginning when he started, it was
Here
a
and
lot
there.
in the regular
Here
season,
and
and
there.
it wasn't in and out.
Yep.
But you're definitely going to miss Robo because everything that you've seen this year, especially in the middle of the season where he came around. I mean, he had a slow start, but once he got on fire, he was on fire. And I think the biggest part was because of the way him and Hintz got together. Now, why hasn't there been 96 on that wing? I don't know. I mean, again, I'm sure somebody will ask. Well, you know what? Again, I don't think they're going to tell you much, and we'll see what happens come. Saturday night. We'll see where guys are in place.
It's official now. The NHL released it. The Stars tweeted about Saturday night, game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs, first round. Stars and Avalanche will be at 7:30 Central Time. I would imagine our pregame show will probably start at which would be 6:45.
Yep.
Most likely.
Yep.
With Sam at the arena. I don't know if our buddy Sean will be here in time. He's traveling this weekend. He'll be here, I think, Monday at the AC for Game 2. I'm assuming Monday. They haven't announced it yet. So, Luds, Game 1, Saturday night. We'll get into more of the breakdown of the game here in just a second. But Stars have basically 3 days starting now to get ready for Saturday night. 2.5 days, let's call it, because of the travel and everything.
Yeah, and, I would say advantage to Colorado in that department, right? I mean, they've had 4 or 5 days off. They were going to take, they skated today, they skated yesterday, they're going to take tomorrow off, they're going to skate the day and then fly into Dallas is what it sounds like on Friday. So that's an advantage to them. They get their captain, who's been out for 2.5, 3 years, who played a couple games with the minor league team that apparently looked really good. And today at practice, they were talking about how he was running around. Everybody was hitting everybody. They seem to be in that mode. So they get Landeskog back, which is just it's an emotional boost for sure. And I think guys can rally around that, mainly because they've been along for the ride on his ride and how many setbacks he's had. And then the other thing is you're going to probably get, a healthier McKinnon and a healthier Makar and Nichushkin and, the guys that are the load there. And then they're going to have to – and they were no fire wagon coming down the stretch either. They had games where it was going sideways for them too. So that's one thing. I do think, though, where they did make steps is down the middle of the ice, with some of the Besser and, Coyle and Drury, so they got a little deeper.
Not Besser, Brock Nelson.
Or sorry.
Yep.
I do that a lot when I talk about the Brock.
They're both Americans.
The Brock throws me off. I go with Besser.
It's Brock. Yep.
Yeah. And so anyway, those guys are important players down the middle of the ice. I mean, Joe Sakic did a hell of a job, shoring that area up. So,
what I think I heard, I don't remember if I heard this. I heard it on the podcast yesterday or today. That move to make them deeper at center, obviously they knew they needed it, but I think part of it too was they knew that Wyatt Johnston, third line center, is where the Stars can expose teams, right? Top six, sometimes that cancels out. You got Colorado and Dallas, very skilled. Their top six is good. Now that the Avalanche can match up with all three of the Stars' top nine, and that's where the group becomes a little closer to the middle, right? It's not it's no longer that line against a mediocre third line for Colorado.
They get here, and they're going to put whoever they feel is the best one to put. Maybe it's going to be Rupe against McKinnon. So maybe speed on speed, that's what they're going to do. Then all of a sudden, like you said, when you've got Duchesne's line and you got Wyatt, now you have Coyle and you have Nelson. So now you've got those two guys that can kind of go head to head with them. And again, the big, it's not even an elephant in the room. How are they going to play against Rantanen? Because my belief is they're going to say the one guy that we know the best on that side is a guy that's played with us for the last 9-10 years, and we know what he is in the playoffs, and we're not going to allow him to beat us. So how do they adjust to that? And does that take a matchup away from them? So the good news, hopefully, is if Tyler Seguin, everything is good coming through with Tyler in game one and he feels good, is that going to free up Duchesne, Marchment, and Tyler to get away from – because Pete's got last change, so maybe he can find a way to get away from McKinnon.
Would you like to hear what Tyler had to say after the game? All right, we have Tyler. Here's what Tyler –
I just lead him into things?
Love it.
Perfect. Let's
spill it.
Here's what Tyler Seguin had to say post-game.
Maybe. My bag's out there on the thing. Nice sit.
You can sit.
A little extra preview, too.
How did it feel physically speaking?
Physically?
Yeah. Was that a question mark in your head, and is that a relief?
Yeah, I would call it a relief for sure. I think no matter what, when you're coming back from anything, there's a question mark.
They can hear it.
So yeah, I'll take it and run.
How do you get
Can
up
we
to
do a
the
super
level
chat
you
and people
need
can
to
let us
play
know
up
what's
to
being
feel a
said?
little bit of
This is
that
the whole
tonight?
rule. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not a playoff game.
Yeah, I'll just stay right here.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not happy obviously because of the game, but also happy knowing that I got stuff to build on, and going to be able to be a.
I'd love to get a shot at these guys.
Was it encouraging to see the chemistry?
Well, what are you going to do? You never put my pictures up there.
You took a photo of yourself during the intermission.
That was hilarious.
That didn't go anywhere, did it?
But yeah, I mean, I feel like we've always had chemistry, and sometimes you might think it'll take a little bit, but I thought we cut that pretty quick. And I think this is a little different than taking a whole off season off. I've still been in the stands, I've still been around the guys. I haven't really worked with them in practice, but I've been around enough that it's not a complete blur. So they're obviously two talented guys and easy to come back and play with.
How do you,
Go ahead.
How do you assess that game and just this stretch for you guys?
For our team, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. You'd like to be going into playoffs at a different way. We went in playoffs last year, I think 10-2, and lost the first 2 games. This year we're going in 0 whatever, and all that matters is puck drop on Saturday. So we'll move on pretty quickly here.
Can you flip a switch? I mean, obviously you can't, but I mean, we've seen teams do it.
We're gonna have to.
Yeah.
So we've seen teams do it, and we're gonna do it.
Thank you.
Come on back, Aaron. Come over here and join me.
I'm going to push Sam. You can't get over there.
The flops don't have good traction.
You did not dress the occasion well.
No.
So we couldn't hear Tyler Seguin like you guys probably could on the show. So we had to get over to the speaker there. And I didn't hear the first answer he had. But after that, it was interesting that he's disappointed with this game and said, and you guys, if you're listening, just heard what he said. So I'm sort of saying it to Luds now rather than our viewers and listeners. He's not happy with this game, so he's a little muted, but I think he said he felt pretty good. But Sam, that comment at the end of, can you flip a switch? And he said, we have to.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, we've talked the last 2 weeks about flipping switches and how it's hard to do. At this point, like we just said before, there's no more, can we do this? We'd like to do this. It is now
we have to
do or die. We have to flip the switch. And Seguin mentioned what I've heard a few players and coach mentioned they finished last year on a huge run, 10-2 or whatever it was, and they lost both games to Vegas to start the series. So you really don't know, but I hope they don't go in thinking that's an example that they could do the opposite. They need to be engaged, and that's what worries me more. It's not necessarily how they'll play. It's mentally, the intensity, all the things we haven't seen the last couple of weeks. As we said, I hope that the playoff atmosphere and the Colorado Avalanche coming into town is what they need to turn it back up to what we saw at times during the year.
So Bubble Hockey Conn Smythe, in a quick digression, is trying to say that Sam is Gilligan, Luds is the professor, and Owen is Marianne. You have to be the skipper, right?
Well, look at him. He's a skipper.
No, he's definitely Gilligan.
Yeah, he is Gilligan.
I think you'd be the skipper.
Do I have to watch this show now that you guys talk about it?
Oh, I love it. Oh, it's such a good show.
All right. Watch that and then Pink
I would
Panther.
prefer. Oh, well, Luds, would you rather be Thurston Howell instead?
Skipper
I'd
was
love
a
to be
buffoon.
Thurston Howell and Lovey. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Marianne was hot, so
And Ginger wasn't bad herself.
No,
Yeah.
Luds is pretty good
I'd
looking.
be okay if you want me to be Marianne, but I think I'm the professor. I think I'm.
In which way?
Let's see, education, vocabulary, and not the skipper's brawny build.
Hey, I'm education.
Okay. Well, he was a bit of a
Humbleness,
dork.
too.
There you go.
Yeah. I
See?
guess you fit.
Humbleness, too.
Humbleness.
I
Yeah.
love when John has little comments.
Yeah,
here.
he
Oh.
throws a dart
You
in
can't
there.
even
How
see
about
his
this?
face.
Pulls a pin and throws just one of them little grenades in there every once in a while.
So let's see. Sean Ardell said Sean is Thurston Howell the third. I could see Sean as Thurston Howell. He could be the professor too. I'll be Thurston. I don't care. But anyway,
I'll be anybody.
Sean saying that the one guy that was the best player on the ice tonight shouldn't play.
he did.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Up next in the Stars Post Game show, we're going to take your
Shoot.
super chats. But before we do, we are going to have Luds break down some of the goals for you next
Oh, shoot.
on the post game show here on DLLS.
Shoot.
Sam's not ready.
Shoot. Hello, everybody. Let's talk about Empire today.
You just click right here. You don't have
Yep.
to scroll.
Oh, yeah, I got it. We got it.
He is Gilligan.
We've all been to those big box stores, right? You wander endless aisles, then somehow you're hauling all these materials home looking for an installer and coordinating everything yourself. Those big box stores might have a flooring department, but the person helping you with flooring may have been doing sinks or plumbing yesterday and stocking light bulbs tomorrow, Empire Today is your best bet for a new floor. They live and breathe flooring, and they'll be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DLLS listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DLLS. Yes, you heard right, a $350 discount with code DLLS. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/DLLS for full details.
Finish strong.
You did. You rallied. Thank you. Let's talk about Own Well. Owning property comes with plenty of challenges. Overpaying on property tax shouldn't be one of them. If you haven't already received your tax statement in the mail here, I'm sure you are. You need to call or sign up online with Own Well, because Own Well believes that when it comes to paying property tax, you should only pay what's fair. It doesn't take long. You can sign up in 3 easy minutes. Only requires a few details. You can get an instant estimate on tax savings. You know what I particularly like? I like the fact that Own Well handles everything from start to finish and delivers top results. No upfront costs, only pay if you save. Hundreds of thousands of happy customers and 5-star reviews. The deadline to protest is May 15th for most counties. Save money on your property taxes with Own Well. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your protest today at ownwell.com/DLLS. That's OWNWELL.com/DLLS. All right. We are going to start talking about Game 1, Avs and Stars, in more detail tomorrow. We have a show tomorrow. We have a show Friday. So we're going to do some major previews of that. But before we do, I know this game doesn't really matter, but I want you to see a few things that Luds broke down during our watch along. So I don't call him Craig very often on the show, but so Craig, would you go through a couple goals?
That's your first name?
Yeah. John, what do we got? Which one do you want to talk
Let's
about?
start with the one bright spot of the night for the Dallas Stars. 15 seconds into the game.
Do it.
Well, to me, this is all Matt Duchene's vision. You know, Tyler did a lot of work in the corner to get that puck back over there. And when you watch Seguin, we've got him circled here, and I like to look at the goaltender's head. And, you know, and again, they all know who they're playing against. They know Matt Duchene behind the net is difficult to handle, but Duchene had known even before he got the puck that he was coming out the short side. Goaltender slides over to his left, looks for Seguin to make this pass out there. Basically, the goaltender and the defenseman on side are basically covering nobody. Comes out the short side. Mason Marchment, empty netter. Tyler Seguin has the assist. What was it? 15 seconds into the game, 16 seconds?
16.
And Tyler Seguin is back on the board. Everything is great. We got nowhere to go but
It's going to be a good game.
down.
A moment of ignorant bliss. We don't have anything for it, but Luds, I know you had some thoughts on the Jordan Osterley goal. I believe that was the one Maverick Bourque lost off the faceoff.
Yeah, that one there, I don't put that in anyone. You know, the thing is went back and looked, and that was Ryan O'Reilly who took the faceoff. One of the best in the league, has been over his career. Maverick Bourque, rookie player, gets in the faceoff circle. You know, if I don't know who was out there with him, if Jamie's out there, and why Jamie wouldn't have taken that. But regardless, if there's a veteran player out there, I think, and you see Bourque in the faceoff circle, you tell him, tie him up. We'll come in and help. And he wins it clean. And then after Bourque loses it, he ends up trying to block it. The defenseman takes the shot, hits him in the skate, and goes in the net. That's just a play that happens a lot.
Do we want to go to the Vrana goal, the tip play in front?
Next I believe is the Jakob Vrana goal, correct?
Okay, so this would be the 2-1 goal for the Preds.
Do we have anything prior to this, John? Any clips or any shots of that prior where he's coming off the yeah. There you go.
Oh, are they out of order?
Yeah. Here's our system. So you can see Dodonov slipped back into a little old style here, but Dodonov is all lined up with the goal scorer, right? But the puck moves from the wall, starts to come back to the defenseman here on the short side, and then it ultimately moves across the ice. But you can watch everybody else here, and you watch Steele, watch Essa. Generally, Essa would be making his way back, but Essa is staying with the guy behind him because that's where he's supposed to be. Dodonov, who left the guy that he was with, who's the goal scorer, for some reason, he goes to his point man. Again, kind of reverts to old school. Now Steele starts shooting across the ice. Again, this is what happens when you play
side
in
of
this.
Vrana.
Well, he doesn't even look at him. Never even looks at him. Vrana just takes off to the net. goes to net, and then as we've seen many times, and I circled this one because Esa is here and he's taking care of his guy. In traditional old school ways, you would recover back to the front of the net because that's where the most dangerous area is. Esa takes his time because he's keeping an eye on the guy behind him. Steele doesn't pick him up. Dodonov has gone to the point. Lo and behold, we've got a guy wide open, and the little shot tip, good heads-up play from the defenseman, little shot tip, and goes through, I believe it went through the legs of Otter on this one.
So that made it 2-1, and they still had another goal in the period with 15 seconds left.
Yeah, and go here, and again, here we are. And just look at the arrow. Don't look at the circle first. I believe this is Lyubushkin. He's on the wall with his guy, right? Mason Marchment is circled here. He's with his guy. Now, go to the next one. And this one is kind of hard to see. Let's go to the next one.
But we only had this is all we.
Oh, we didn't have them where Marchment lets him go.
This image is before this image.
Okay. All right. Well, ultimately what happens here, folks, these guys let their guys go. Lyubushkin takes his time going back to the front of the net. Marchment leaves his guy go right here. Marchment starts to chase over to the middle of the ice where the puck is. This guy goes right to the front of the net, and lo and behold, another goal. And as you can see, everybody else is staring at their guys or staring at the puck. No heads on a swivel. And at the end of this play, Marchment realizes a little too late. He starts coming down to the front of the net. He's trying to catch his player, but he doesn't, and he throws his stick, and he actually spangs the glass because he knows that was supposed to be his guy, which if this was a new system to these guys in Game 82, I could understand it. But they've been playing this way for a couple years now. So to leave your guy go there makes no sense to me, except you're attracted to the puck, and maybe it just tells a bigger story to where they are in their headspace.
Sam, you want to break in with some news?
I don't want to.
Well, you got to. It happened.
Emma Lingen, the team, I think she's the team reporter.
Nope, used to be, now works for a couple of different outlets.
A reporter for the Nashville Predators just tweeted, Jason Robertson left Bridgestone Arena with a brace on his right knee, still looks to be in quite a bit of pain.
So that takes away the Charlie horse I was hoping for.
We were remember the worry was high enough for a Charlie horse or a little lower for a knee. That's the hope. Again, the hope. All the hope is...
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even know what the hope is.
Coming out of the bottom of the barrel?
I don't know. That's tough to...
Well, and that doesn't mean that it's not a sprain or a strain or something like that. It's not panic yet.
No.
Maybe he can get back. If it's not this round, maybe he gets back next round.
Right, but there is a lot of dismay knowing that you already don't have Miro Haskin to start the playoffs, to then have 3 or 4 games where you don't play well, or 7, and the last couple, right? So Utah, Detroit, and Nashville, the first 2, they sat out guys. Marchment had an illness. Harley and Lindell were rested. And then they pick up an injury in the last game.
Yeah, I mean,
but
you know what? You can't blame Pete.
No.
You can't bench the whole team.
And players play games, and things happen. So, but it's disappointing.
But this better not be an excuse.
No,
I can kind of see where we had injuries during the course of the year, and this guy got. Listen, there were other things that were going on here when guys were healthy. There were things that were going on again.
Of course,
same dead horse. That were going on, your goaltenders were playing great.
Yeah.
So, we hope that Robo somehow finds a way to make it back into this series.
Are we super chatting in this?
What's
segment? Are we super chatting in this segment?
I'm just curious. Yeah, well, I want to have Luds do a couple more real quick.
Okay, I was just going to answer that question.
No, we'll go.
No.
We'll go. Yeah, we'll go through the super chats. Luds, if you would just quickly. Marcia So's goal. Do we have Marcia So's goal from the?
Here's the
second
listen,
period.
folks, a little bit more of the same. This was Dumba. Here's his guy down behind the goal end, and I can't tell in this picture who this is. I'm talking about Stars player, but what he does, he takes a step to his right.
You're talking about that looks like Smith
where the arrow is.
Oh, up on the high
I can't
side.
tell what forward that is. It is Smith, but what you'll see in the next one, you're going to see Smith and Dumba. Again, all covering the player that I had the arrow on. He steps outside. Now he's not, and you can see the 2 lines there. That's the important area of the ice. He steps outside there, and now look at who's open wide in the slot, right? And then there's another one where we come back behind the net. You've got 2 defensemen staring at the same player, and I'm not putting this one on Dumba because once Dumba gets around here, now look at 95. Matt Duchene recognizes because he had his back turned. Now he recognizes that here's where the puck's coming into that high danger area. He leaves Marchessault. Dumba, by the time he back to the front of the net, there's no one on Marchessault, who's just going to be standing here all alone and taps it in the net. And this is not on Matt Dumba. This is on the group as far as not recognizing where everybody is.
Go back to that, the first frame of that with the circle on the guy or the arrow there. Luds, if you believe the players on the ice, that is Mikko Rantanen.
Okay, that's very possible.
Because they
Lefty,
have Steele, Duchesne, and Rantanen as the
and
three
you got to
forwards.
remember, Rantanen is new to the system.
Yep.
Probably. I'm not sure what Colorado or Carolina for a moment of time were playing.
Yep.
So, but again, it's not an excuse, but again, it goes from where you're in a good area of the ice and you step outside of it. Next thing, everything breaks down and we open up the good areas of the ice.
Okay, so then the last goal, did you guys get the, here's the power play goal for O'Reilly.
This was shorthanded. Uncharacteristic. I don't think we saw this one thing, and this is Essa, the left side defenseman. The puck comes across, and Essa, for some reason, moves out of the middle of the ice. But I circled Wyatt for a reason. There you can kind of see where Essa's going. But I circled Wyatt for a reason. Wyatt stops his feet right here. This will come into play a little bit later. He still doesn't have his feet moving here. Okay? Now, once the puck gets down, now they're still not moving.
That's a bad screen right
now
there.
What happens is we've turned in probably a good numbered rush because Essa moves over there. We have both. Who is that? Hintz,
Rupe.
probably Rupe. Okay. Now they're both over there on the wall. Now what you've done is you turned it into a 2-on-1. Now we're down here. Labushkin has his stick in the perfect spot. Jake is like, okay, I'm taking this shot. I'm here. I'm set up. I got him good. And it's a bad shooting angle from there, right? So what does Labushkin do?
Oh, no.
He puts his stick over here for some reason, opens up the passing lane. But look at Wyatt. Because Wyatt didn't keep his feet moving at the blue line, watch the last one. He can't get to that puck that comes across the ice. If Wyatt keeps his feet moving and you think of the bad things that can happen, he probably breaks this play up. But Labushkin takes his stick out of there. Lindell moves to the wall. Wyatt stops skating. So it's hard on this particular play to pick out one guy. The only guy you're not going to blame is Jake. And this one, that one right there. The only reason I had John put this on here, tell me if this is a little bit more difficult to get a scoring chance. I see 2 white jerseys in that area, but I see 4 yellow jerseys,
below the hash mark,
including the goaltender. So that's the difference in the way that teams play. And this one here, you bring your troops back to what they call the high quality. What do you call it? High danger, high quality chances and things like that. And I just ask, would a goaltender rather be playing in this system here than some of the things that we've seen?
When I look at that last clip, the thing that worries me, and we're gonna talk about the future, and hopefully it's more positive with the outlook on the playoffs. But the thing that worries me about this team's defending is that the names you're naming are not rookies or 7th defenseman or 4th line even. You're talking about Wyatt Johnston and Rupe Hintz and Essa Lindell that are making these mistakes and making them consistently over the last few weeks. And that worries me because that is not a we can fix it real quick type of situation. It feels like a something mentally that is just not triggering.
Here, and I'll try to give them a little bit of a pass or a scapegoat claw. I think they're over trying. I think they're trying to pick off pucks and go the other way and then catch up because they're playing a lot of catch up, right? And I think they're cheating the coverage because, again, they were one of the top 3 teams in the league when it comes to giving up goals. But I will give a ton of credit to the goaltenders this year because those same things happened early when they were winning hockey games. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to not get behind. And I think they're trying to cheat, and I think they're trying to go and hope that puck is going to be somebody's going to break the puck out, get that lob or whatever, so we can go get a scoring chance because we know we can score goals. And you're forgetting about, you can argue this or not, but offense wins you games and defense wins you championships. And so I think they're forgetting about that part of the game too often, only because they're trying to get out of the hole that they've been in. And the only way that they know how to get out of the hole is to score a bunch of goals. And it's not working out right now. Yeah.
All right, we are going to take our break now because we have Super Chats to rattle off. We will do that next. As you can see, the score wasn't great tonight as the Stars lose their last regular season game of the year to the Nashville Predators. The good news is the Preds are done for the season. The Stars have a first-round playoff matchup with the Avalanche. We'll talk about your Super Chats next here on DLLS. But first, let's talk about being a diehard. Check out that QR code at the bottom of the screen. Luds could point straight down and show it to you if you wanted to. Sam could point over there too. It's right down in that corner. Yeah. $36 for an NFL Draft Day special introductory offer for new diehard subscribers. If you haven't signed up before, now's a great time to do it at a substantial discount. Scan that QR code. That'll take you to our website, alldlls.com. And, of course, you can sign up and get all sorts of great access. How about a T-shirt? We have 2 new T-shirt drops. The Finnish Mafia is not even the new one anymore, although I must say I think it's my favorite because we have these 2 shirts. Get you ready for the playoffs with the captain and the moose. They are available if you sign up to be a diehard with that offer. You can pick one of those or any of the shirts on our DLLS merchandise website, including the Finnish Mafia one that I like so much. I know a couple of you are waiting for the Madonna 16-bit shirt to come back into stock. Any of those you want to do, hit that up. Plus, in addition to that, Sam, you're going to be on site for all the games of the Stars versus the Avalanche, and so there'll be a lot of writing that they can access because of it.
Absolutely true. I'll be doing plenty of stuff. Daily writing from both Dallas and Denver. Hopefully 2 trips to Denver. That's the goal
or
here.
Maybe they win in less than 2 trips to Denver.
Maybe the Stars
But yeah,
ended
that
in,
would be the
in
expectation.
5.
So, and not only that with the Stars, you also get access to all the writing and coverage of the Rangers, the Cowboys, and the Mavs.
The Mavs, who are winning by a lot right
they?
now,
Well,
by
just
almost 20 or something.
10-9 will turn into the 9-8 game maybe. So maybe the Mavs can sneak their way in as well. We'll see. But sign up to be diehard. It's absolutely worth it. You also get access to our diehard-only Discord lounge, including the Stars channel inside it, which is phenomenal. Very funny. AllDLLS.com. Sign up today.
There are a lot of people calling for Craig Ludwig to chug a beer right now.
If I had one, I would.
Or the same people over and over again. All right.
Yes.
Let's do some super chats here as the Stars post-game show rolls on. Remember, and by the way, Charlie said hi and that he thinks I'm doing a nice job. Thank you, Charlie. I hope you are also well. And we very much appreciate your friendly support. Even though you're a Jets fan, you are very welcome, right? We welcome all the fans from all the teams.
Good luck.
And he says he really
Round
likes
1.
the discourse and interesting
I hope
stuff.
we meet you guys in the second round.
Boy, wouldn't that be fun? So we'll get to that in a minute. All right, Super Chats. Hit us up.
Bing bong.
Michael with a DeSmith 99 cup here. Pete has lost this team. What an epic collapse. Is it?
Well, it's not a collapse yet. You know,
Right.
the season didn't end the way you wanted it to. You weren't the last 8 games. Well, yeah, you were. You did have an opportunity somewhere in there to leapfrog Winnipeg, but that game against Winnipeg pretty much said, get out of our way. We have bigger.
They had to win that game. Even though they lost to Pittsburgh and they had the overtime loss to Minnesota and the overtime collapse, the collapse at the end of the regulation game against Vancouver. If they, even with those points, losing to Winnipeg was not going to be enough. They could have pulled it off. It was possible.
I keep thinking, like, can a team like Colorado come in here and be a little bit overconfident? I think they can. You know, I don't know.
Would you be, obviously.
Well, not with a team. Again, they won a Stanley Cup before,
Yes.
and they have some of them players on that team. So they probably have the minds and the right people. And the right people are the McCarrs, the McKinnons, and now Landeskog, whether he plays or not. It talks about he
It's
may
up in
play
the air a little bit, yeah.
3-4. But regardless, I mean, they've got those voices in there now. So I would expect that. What I would expect out of the team like that, if it was a defending Stanley Cup champion or a team that had played and won a cup in the last few years and knocked on the door a few different times, I would be sensing there's blood in the water. Like, that's what I would think. Like
they would be eager to come in here and see if they can steal game 1 or even game 2.
And the thing is their focus will be on they're down right now. I mean, I think it'd be hard not to think that the team is not in the right headspace as they would want to be. We have to win game 1. Because if we take our foot off the gas at all and think, because you always go on the road in the beginning, they say you just want to win 1 game. We're only going there to win 1 game. Well, that's a bunch of BS. You're going there to win 2 games.
Yep.
And when you say that you're only winning 1 game is when you lose the first game and then you win the second one. You say, oh, that's all we wanted to do. It's not true. You want to win them both. But they don't want to give this team any life. So I would expect their best game would probably be the first 5-10 minutes. They're going to try to set a tone.
And remember, the Stars lost the opening first 2 games to Vegas in the first round and still found a way to win in 7 on home ice. Maybe they'll do better this time. Michael Moore with a Madonna 99 Cup here. Why does it seem that no one is leading this team? Why is no one setting an example on the ice? Bring a fight, yell at a teammate, get some emotion. They look like a team that wants a vacation. We're going to find out pretty quickly if they can snap out of it on Saturday.
All we've been looking for is we just want to see somebody that looks like they're pissed off for losing games.
For sure.
But I don't. It may happen in the locker room. I don't know, but take it out on another player. Like, take it out on somebody. On the other team is what I mean, not another player.
Right.
Like, just take it out on someone. Show that you're upset. I don't know.
Next one.
Bing bong.
Christopher Lee with a Oscar Beck and Tyler Seguin. Coasting into the playoffs never works out. You build and break habits. This skid has been going for more than 21 days. 22-23 Boston Bruins couldn't flip that switch, and they were much better.
Sam, you've heard it before. What are habits?
Yes.
Habits are what you repeatedly do.
Yes.
It wasn't a trick question.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was.
Yeah, no, but they've repeatedly been doing those kind of things. Yep. So let's hope there is a switch. Maybe there is a magic
Luds,
switch.
do you believe in the old sports adage, you practice as you play?
I do, because you put so much time. Well, listen, I can only speak to guys I played for and played with. I mean, it was detailed hockey. It was, you're what you believe in, however you believe that you're going to win. But all the coaches that I played for and the teams that I played for, starting in Montreal, because they got a pretty good track, history, is that you start on game 1 and you play game 5, game 20, game 25, game 65, all the same way, because you believe in whatever that may be. And they've done that here, right? I mean, they haven't changed it. But the teams I played with had won championships before, so they had something that they believed in, and that's what they hang their hat on. And you did it until it was automatic. I mean, the drills were the same, and there were, even here in Dallas with Hitch, there were times in Hitch always had a funky way of drawing up drills, and we'd do the same drill every day for months, but he would draw it differently. And we'd be at the board, and I'm like, well, what the hell is this now? Wait a second. That's a drill we just did for the last 35 practices. And I just begged him. I said, Hitch, just give him a name. Everybody knows the Canada Cup drill, right? Everybody knows it. Sam, do you know the Canada Cup drill?
Yeah.
Probably not. Okay. Pretty much every player knows Canada. All you do is say Canada Cup, guys. It's a warm-up drill. Everybody goes right to their spots, and they do the drill. So I try to get our daddy. I'm like, just give them all, because we don't have to stand at the board. We don't have to draw them differently and all this other kind of stuff, which you will. But what happens, and again, that's muscle memory.
Recognition. Yep.
Muscle
all right, let's go to the next one.
Bing bong.
Chlorotis with a Nils Lundqvist and Tyler Seguin. If Stevie Wonder were a Stars fan, I'd envy him because he couldn't see what happened tonight or in the previous 6 games. Not ideal. Not great, Cotton.
Sometimes I beg to differ. I'm thinking Stevie Wonder could have picked that guy up.
T. Farmer with a Heiskanen 99. 15 seconds plus of good hockey. Don't crush my hopes and dreams. Finish your chicks and win the damn thing, please. We beg of you.
He's going to finish his chicks.
Yep.
Bing bong.
Excellently dropped in the middle of that sentence, too.
Bubble Hockey Conn Smythe. I like that.
Name change.
That's, same name as the fecal tornado.
That's the turd tornado.
We have a Lundqvist in Year After the Cup. I was a political science major that failed chemistry. The Stars are failing at chemistry, too.
Well, I guess, whatever you want to call it. They're failing at coverage. That's all they're failing at.
Keep it going.
Oh, snap.
Bing bong.
I'm off the air.
Christopher with a Madonna 99 Cup here. Let's remember this skid started way before we rested players. Sounded like Pete DeBoer didn't like them resting in that clip. How has Rantanen helped this team in 25? This was a win now move, and we're worse. I don't think we're worse.
Yeah,
but I do think that Pete was frustrated tonight. I don't think he was frustrated in the sense of we shouldn't have been resting players. I think he's frustrated with clearly the Jason Robertson injury more than anything else.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, we were trying to rest guys and we still couldn't avoid injury.
Yeah.
Well, then that's a miss.
Yeah.
Because you should be upset with what's been going on.
Yeah.
Before the injury, there were issues before the injury.
Yep.
Or
there was.
injuries.
Bing bong.
Michael Moore with a Heiskanen 99 Cup here. If the Stars lose round 1, is Jamie's time in Dallas done? Who else could you see moved?
No.
It's not done unless he wants it to be, but I don't think he wants it to
One, no. Two, we'll spend time on that when the time is right. So we shouldn't worry about that until we have a playoff round to get to, see where the Stars go with that. If it opened, like if that gets to that point where the Stars don't make it through the first round, then we can spend all sorts of time talking about who should or shouldn't be on the roster.
Way too much time to talk about.
We'll have a lot of time.
If that happens.
So let's save that for another day. But Michael, it's not a bad question. It's just one for another day. Okay?
Bing bong.
Aaron with a Brendan Smith a year after the Cup. If Robertson can't go, who's your replacement?
Monte Blumel.
No, before Blackwell or Beck.
Oh no, but I'm saying that I think they need an offensive player. If this is really happening, I believe they need an offensive player. They cannot just put it.
But you have Seguin, you have Dadonov, you have Bork that can all elevate in the lineup. Yeah. Aren't they all? Well,
it's not going to be Seguin because he's going to stay with that line.
Yeah,
right. But
so now you're talking about. I just think now you
have Granlund.
If that's what it is. You're going to put Granlund back to the left, and then you'll put Rantanen up there with Hintz.
Right.
That's what I would think.
I hear where you're coming from, Sam. As far
I didn't
as
necessarily mean in that line.
I'm just thinking like, do you think as of right now, Blumel's having a phenomenal AHL season? Is he a better option than Mikael Granlund, Maverick Bork, Evgeny Dadonov as far as playing in the top 9?
No. Yeah, I didn't mean it on that in that group. I just meant. I think
because they already have 2 extra forwards right now.
Yeah, and I believe if you lose a player like that, and let's say if it was he's going to miss a week, 2 weeks, whatever, I think you need to add someone who's scoring goals. That's just my thought. But in terms of they have plenty of depth to move up to that spot, but unfortunately their left wing spot isn't the strongest. They have a bunch of guys who play on their offside.
Yeah, so if you put Granlund up there with Hintz and Rantanen, you leave the Duchesne line what it is, and then you've got Jamie, Wyatt, and Bork, and then you've got Beck, Steele, Blackwell, whatever you want to slide in there, right? Yeah.
Agreed.
But I don't know.
Next.
Bing bong.
Christopher Lee, I think that's a hat trick in there with a Heiskanen 99 for the Hattie. Oh, it is. For most of who is most to blame for the defensive breakdowns? I don't remember it ever being this bad in the past. Forwards cheating for offense? ?
It's not the cheating for offense for me. It's cheating defense. Like they're just not. They're not.
They're just getting lost. They're getting lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was cheating defense or offense, they'd be taken off. Now they come back, but they're not kind of going and sticking around where apparently they're supposed to be.
Let's go to the next
Bing
one.
Bong.
Stars 25 Cup year with a Heiskanen 99. I think losing Robertson will be the final block on the Jenga tower.
The sky is falling.
That's the perfect drop for that one. Look, it's not
I
good.
I love Jenga.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good game.
Squirrel.
You like the oversized? That's the perfect drop.
The bars and
the big giant one where you should probably wear a hard hat. Where is your hard hat, by the way?
It's
down
over
there.
I don't know. I just threw the other hat though.
You did. Don't throw the hard hat.
You could play naked Jenga. I got a card game once, and it said to play Jenga. Every time you lose, you have to strip
Unbelievable.
Jenga.
Oh, my goodness. Luds, the thing about Robertson's injury is that it will be a blow, but I don't think it sinks this team. I still think they can be effective. And as you said before, Robo had his roller coaster playoff. I thought he had a slow start to his playoff career as a Dallas Star, and I think he got better as it went along. But it's still, still a big thing. He's still a top player.
Yeah, because what it does is it allows you to go ahead and read what you got to read right now.
All right. So we are going to
bong.
do another super chat. John is saying move along. Bailey with a Heiskanen 99. Luds, do we need Vinnie Paul to resurrect for this to get done?
Well,
by the way, 1-6 Colorado in the last 7, 1 in 2022. It ain't over until it's over.
Bing bong.
I agree.
Stars 25 Cup here, Heiskanen 99. Grow some ball, hit somebody, grow a spine. It's hard to score when you're face down on the ice. Ben, Bischel, Dumba, Marchment, make them earn every inch.
Bing bong.
Agreed. Grow some ball.
Bubble Hockey Con Smythe
kind of
with
French. Grow
a
some ball.
Smith, and a year after the Cup, you guys going to roll with growing hockey beards? I don't think so. I think we'll leave that for the players.
We already have
we already have beards, but grow them out long. We have about a minute left. We have about 30 seconds left. Any thoughts before we wrap up and say goodnight?
Let's get to the playoffs.
Oh, they're
Please.
We're there, Sam.
We have a show tomorrow. I believe it is
nice if
at
the playoffs were like
2
3 weeks
o'clock
away.
Central Time. Join us. We will talk about Stars and Avalanche. Big time. We'll preview the Eastern and Western Conference playoff matchups, which are now all set. We will get you ready tomorrow and Friday. Game on Saturday, 7:30 Central Time at American Airlines Center. For Luds, for Sam, for John, I'm Owen. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.